What's up, y'all? Cam and Chris back again. This time we got Trap Lord Ross did a let's say the assassination of Sidhu Musiala, India's Tupac. I guess this a little documentary. You know, Trap Lord Ross do these documentaries on people's life. I know he did the King Von with the serial killer, and I forgot who else he did.
I don't know.
He did a bunch of different. He did a few on Chicago people.
Okay.
But let's check this out. Let's check it out.
Oh boy. Okay.
Y'all like and subscribe, and let us know if it's how accurate it is. If y'all know. If y'all know.
Disclaimer. The purpose of this video is an educational documentary providing authoritative news reporting on historic events in a journalistic context. All of the opinions in this video are mine alone. Everything in this video has been taken from publicly available sources, and any footage used is covered under the doctrine of fair use. We have made every effort to ensure the accuracy of our sources, but I am not responsible for content that third parties publish. Content warning. This video contains themes of violence, death, and gang activity, but every effort has been made to censor this video in accordance with YouTube's advertiser and community guidelines. This video features no violence on screen, no explicit language, and no hateful language. If you want to see extended versions of my videos with much more detail, please visit patreon.com/traplordross, where you can watch the director's cut for just $2. But if you're not interested in that, hit the subscribe button and get ready to hear one of the craziest stories ever told. This video made use of AI to dub the audio from Punjabi to English, but we have not used AI to change or alter anything anybody has said in this video, and all of the words that you hear are direct translations of the original speech.
Okay.
India's probably the last place you would think of when it comes to gangster rap and drill music. Most people would think of the birthplace of gangster rap, South Central Los Angeles, where the
See, it's already, that's what we thought when we first started doing moves, and we saw like Shooter Kalan, AP Dillon, Sonny Malton, Diljit, even though Diljit not like a drill rapper, but all these dudes we saw with guns and just doing fighting. We like, what the hell is this? So it's crazy. He right. You would not think of no Punjabi as that type of, but
yeah, we were introduced to a whole new world with moves. Seriously, with moves.
Whole new world.
Yeah, we had no idea what we were getting into.
Right. And it just fell in our lap from listening to what's his name? Wayne.
Oh yeah. That is how it came about, right?
The dude, his name was Wayne. He from UK or somewhere. He had,
I can't think his name now. You just made it.
Yeah.
It was right there. But yeah, that is how, and they was like, oh, y'all should do, because we saw the tractor, and so we were like, everybody's like, oh, y'all gotta check out.
Like, what is these dudes wheeling tractors?
Right. And then we had no idea what we were getting into.
Yeah, we did. And then we
love it.
Now most of our subscribers probably Punjabi fans. But let's check it out.
I'm a big fan.
Bloods and Crips reign supreme, or the birthplace of gangster rap, South Central Los Angeles, where the Bloods and Crips reign supreme, or the birthplace of drill music in Chicago, where gangs like the Black Disciples and Gangster Disciples fought a bloody war that made its way to the lyrics of rap songs. But if you followed my channel closely, you'd know that every city around the world has a hood, and in most hoods around the world, there are gangsters doing dirt in the streets and gangster rappers rapping about it. I've covered the gangster rap music scene from LA to Chicago to Stockholm in Sweden and Sydney in Australia, but today we're going to be taking a closer look at one of the most high-profile gangster rap stories that you might have missed. Because in India, a country with a population of 1.4 billion people, one rapper was able to stand out above the rest and become the voice of the streets in the most populated country in the world. That man was Sidhu Musiala, the gun-toting gangster rapper who brought the energy of modern-day Chicago drill to Punjabi language.
I don't even think he would consider himself a gangster rapper. I don't know. You can't put a label on it, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't know.
He just made music.
Good music.
Pioneering a whole new style that made him the voice of the new generation of youth and changed the way people saw Punjabi music around the world. But Sidhu Musiala would become famous for more than just his music. His gangster persona became infamous across India and the world at large, and he seemingly truly lived the lifestyle he rapped about. Musiala was obsessed with guns, covered in tattoos of firearms, and he would constantly be seen in the media toting high-powered weapons.
12-bore shotgun. I've got the system, I've got the semi-autos, everything, slowly getting everything together. I want a repeater, the things that you have a passion for.
He would be slammed by the media for alleged glorification of weapons, and he would receive numerous charges for things like shooting on camera. However, Sidhu Moosewala got to the point where he was so beloved in his country that the cops would let him fire their rifles, and he would end up getting fined for it. But unfortunately, Sidhu Moosewala also had his enemies. A high-profile beef with another Punjabi artist, Karan Aujla, saw diss tracks and threats being thrown back and forth between the two artists. However, beyond the music industry beefs, what made Sidhu Moosewala's story so much more powerful was his plans to get political. His mother was a politician named Charan Kaur, who won the Sarpanch election for Musa in December 2018, the small village where she brought up Sidhu. But after finding fame and fortune in the music industry, Sidhu decided in 2021 to try his hand at politics too, and Sidhu himself ended up running in the 2022 Punjab Legislative Assembly election, a controversial campaign that Sidhu ultimately ended up losing. It may well have been Moosewala's large ambitions that ultimately made his downfall, as less than a year after his controversial attempts to get elected in politics, he would wind up being assassinated. Just like the pioneer of gangster rap in the West Coast, Tupac Shakur, the Punjabi megastar, singer and politician, was shot dead in the front seat of his car. It's both the way he died and the way he lived, with a desire to use his gangster rap music to influence politics, that had people calling him India's Tupac, or the Desi Tupac. Eerily, Tupac was one of the reasons that Sidhu actually took a liking to the hip-hop sound and begun making music, with Sidhu rapping in one song that his stars are aligned with Tupac's, a line which may go deeper than he could have ever imagined. Because even more crazy is the fact that one of the last songs that Sidhu released while he was alive was the track The Last Ride, which came with a cover art depicting the car Tupac was shot and killed in, releasing this only months before Sidhu would meet his own tragic fate. So today, we're going to take a closer look and tell the story once and for all of the brilliant rise and tragic fall of Sidhu Moosewala, India's Tupac Shakur.
People believe Sidhu Moosewala is very fond of guns.
Yeah, that is true.
If you are fond of weapons, I ask you, which weapons do you keep?
I have a 45 caliber pistol and several shotguns. They have filed cases against me about guns and showing violence. In my opinion though, I believe our culture revolves around guns.
Do you like weapons as a means of self-defense, or are you just fond of them?
At first it was just a hobby, but now it has a purpose.
I've seen people come, I've seen people go. This guy is definitely here to stay. He's a bad boy lyricist, he's an amazing performer, and he is none other than Sidhu Moosewala!
Punjabi rapper Sidhu Moosewala has recently decided to go into politics. He claims he wants to fix living standards in Musa and Mansa.
He is not just someone known in Punjab, he is an international figure.
A gang war that spread across Punjab, Delhi's Tihar jail, and across 7 seas to Canada. At the center of this gang war is this group of men led by Lawrence Bishnoi.
My parents have taught me not to just sit there and take it. My parents taught me, if somebody shows you attitude, you teach them a lesson.
The guns and gangster culture in his songs, Sidhu Moosewala would have never imagined that one day he would fall prey to gangsters himself.
Hello brother, you guys are full of wisdom. Please, why does someone come to our holy place and pray? Cut me some slack. What are you doing? Why are you pushing? We have come to pay our respects to the Guru.
News just coming in. India Today has accessed CCTV images from Mansa in Punjab. That cold-blooded murder of singer Sidhu Moosewala.
Golibral's confession number 2, where Bral has said, yes, I did kill Sidhu Moosewala. Golibral further confirming that Sidhu enjoyed unnecessary power and I wanted to teach him a lesson and therefore I got him killed.
In just 4 years, 28-year-old Sidhu Moosewala had become a Punjabi hit.
Wait, who said that? The guy said that, or the guy's father?
The guy, whoever said I killed him, right? He said he had, right? Okay, right here. Okay, back. Okay.
Right.
Unnecessary power. Wow.
Right. Hold up.
I did kill Sidhu Moosewala. Golibrar further confirming that Sidhu
he
enjoyed
further.
unnecessary power, and I wanted to teach him a lesson, and therefore I got him killed.
In just 4 years, 28-year-old Sidhu Moosewala had become a Punjabi hip-hop global icon. He was attacked by gunmen and killed in Punjab. Sidhu's father, Balkaur Singh, has chosen to speak about the pain they've endured since the world lost an artist and he lost a son.
The Bishnoi gang has taken responsibility for murdering Sidhu Moosewala, claiming that Vicky Midukera was their brother, and they have now avenged his death.
What? So I'm wondering if he gonna kind of explain who that guy was.
Well, he got look. This is 2.5 hours. I hope we learn about
everything, huh?
Yeah, everything, everybody. This should be, I'm hoping, very informative, because I'm already confused on what.
That's our first time hearing about
that
person coming out and confessing to it.
Sidhu Moosewala was born Shubdeep Singh Sindhu on the 11th of June 1993 in the village of Musa in the Mansa district of Punjab, India. The last name he adopted for rap, Moosewala, actually means that he belongs to the district of Musa, with Wala actually meaning belonging to, a practice commonly done by Bollywood stars looking for a stage name. Mansa is a rural district located in the Indian state of Punjab in northern India. The district is roughly triangular in shape and is bounded on the northwest by the Bathinda district, on the northeast by the Sangrur district, and on the south by the Haryana state. Mansa is well linked to other cities, particularly the Indian capital New Delhi, by an efficient rail and transport system, and the population of Mansa district stood at approximately 800,000 based on the 2011 census. But Sidhu's home village of Musa stands at a much smaller population of around just 4,000 people, with it being located just 10 kilometers south of the district's headquarters, Mansa City. Now, the last census was taken all the way back in 2011, and the government has delayed another census year after year. I mean, 1.4 billion people, how are you gonna keep track of those? But anyway, the Mansa region saw the arrival of the Aryans, Greeks, Persians, and Mughals, each of whom contributed to the region's cultural heritage. But being within the Punjab region, the most common heritage and religion among the Mansa district is Sikhism. In terms of religion, Mansa has a significant Sikh population of around 77.75% of the overall population there. And Sikhism is a monotheist religion believing in one God and general principles that lead to a good life, such as treating everyone equally, serving and protecting others, and removing the oppressive caste system out of India. Now, due to Sidhu's family and religious background, these Sikh principles were often carried into the topics of his music and his appearance, hence the turban or dastar that he wears to cover his uncut hair. One of the Sikh principles is understanding the importance of weaponry and the defense of others. The Sikhs famously carry the 5 Ks, one of which is a small sword known as a kirpan, the reason being that the sword can be drawn as a last resort in the face of any danger or to protect others. Essentially, Sikhs can be trusted by the general population to protect others if there's a chance of danger. And Sidhu's religious backgrounds and principles would explain a lot of the topics that he chose to include in his music, as Sidhu later explained exactly why he raps about weapons so much in his lyrics, an approach that ultimately attracted the attention of the law, with multiple gun cases being filed against him during his career. He would explain that his culture revolves around those 5 Ks, with the carrying of a weapon seemingly extending towards firearms. Sidhu would explain that he actually believes that guns are not the problem, and it's who is using them and what they're using them for that's the issue. And he asked the viewers, or people that don't understand, to look into the background of the Punjabi region and the Sikh people.
10 years ago, singers were booked in cases for vulgarity in their music. They used to measure a girl's waist and look in her eyes. I don't have such cases. They have filed cases about guns and showing violence. Now it's back to the same thing. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion. My opinion is, you tell me, our culture revolves around guns. Revolves around Sri Sab. I'm going to ask you a question, and all my brothers watching. Whenever in our country, specifically in our state of Punjab, whenever the Prime Minister comes, a foreign diplomat or MP from another state comes, why do we give them Sri Sab? Is Sri Sab not a weapon? Sri Sab is fine there, but if someone picks it up, then it's wrong. It is right.
Even the gurus have us to always be armed?
It all depends on the mind of the person. When the Sri Sab who has the gun, if he or she is using it for the right cause or not. What is right or wrong? We are mere singers. We are incapable of telling you right or wrong. You see, all the intellectuals talking about guns, they're smarter than me for sure. And they find things to criticize about me. I don't mean to offend. I request them to look at our background, what our culture is made of, the fundamentals of our religion. Maybe then they will understand.
The history of the Sikh people and the area Sidhu is from gives a much deeper insight into his warrior mentality. In the 18th and 19th centuries, the Mansa region was controlled by various Sikh rulers, including the Sikh Missals and the Sikh Empire. And Mansa itself has a rich history within Sikhism's warrior culture. The Missals were the 12 sovereign states of the Sikh Confederacy, which rose during the 18th century in the Punjab region in the northern part of the Indian subcontinent. This is cited as one of the causes of the weakening of the Mughal Empire prior to Nader Shah's invasion. In 1849, Mansa came under British colonial rule as part of the Punjab province, which essentially led to a decline in wealth, education and produce within the region. The area is also rich in culture, with many Sikh and Hindu celebrations occurring yearly, along with the production of Bhangra music. With sprawling farms and massive landscapes, the area's economy and lifestyle is primarily based on agriculture, with farming being the main source of income for the majority of the local population, with the area actually being dubbed as Area of White Gold due to the mass production of cotton there. And the name Sidhu itself actually derives from the Jat clan within Punjab and Sikhi. The Jat people are associated with agriculture and farming, hence why Sidhu uses such imagery in his music videos to pay homage to his Jat heritage. For example, tractors often appear in Sidhu's music videos, like in the one for the track Tokan, a song named after a popular tractor towing game that's also popular in Punjab. And in the video, Sidhu would rap surrounded by tractors as if they were the Lambos you would usually expect to see a rapper in front of, making for a very unique flex in the music video. And on the track, he raps about having a dope sound system on the back of his tractor, along with bars about lifting the front tires to face God and threatening to drag his ops from the back of the tractor if they play with him. And tractors were also a big part of his promotional campaign for his 2021 film Musa Jat. Sidhu would even explain in one interview how part of his love of tractors is actually the power that it gives to the driver, with him even comparing it to having a gun in your hand.
One of your tractors has a decal powerful. Is there any special meaning behind it?
It's just when you feel the special part of the tractor. For me, it's similar to guns. Whatever someone is fond of. Some people get high by drugs. I am into iron. I'm into machinery. I'm into weapons.
It's interesting to hear Sidhu compare his love of tractors to guns, as he is truly obsessed with firearms. Guns and ammo appear frequently in his music videos and on his social media posts, and he would even discuss his love of guns and the large arsenal of weapons he was cultivating in a 2020 interview.
Weapons, yeah, I do like them. I have a 45 caliber pistol. I have a 12 gauge shotgun. It's all according to the laws. Semi-auto and all of that. I'm growing my collection, just adding things that I'm fond of. Now I want to buy a repeater. So just slowly growing the collection.
Perhaps it's that Sikh heritage and his warrior mentality which has caused him to take a liking to all manner of weapons of war. And this is something he would also reflect on in detail in one interview where they asked him about his obsession with firearms, with him explaining that he carries them for self-protection and that he just likes them.
People believe Sidhu Moosewala is very fond of guns.
Yeah.
Recently, the head priest of the Akal Takht has instructed Sikhs to keep listen weapons with them. Do you like weapons as a means of self-defense, or are you just fond of them?
First, it was just for a hobby, but now it has a purpose. When you spend time in a profession, you start observing things. Like the saying goes, I did not ride the wedding's horse, but I have seen many people mounting it.
Elsewhere, he would critique the demonization of weapons, emphasizing that weapons are indeed historically important for Sikhs, and explaining the importance of mental discipline over weapon regulation.
They already knew that it was a requirement of the time to add knowledge of weapons to enlightenment. Mughals will torture us. Nadir Shah and Ahmed Shah will plunder us. Our gurus had the vision to think about this, and based on that, added weapons to our 5 Ks of Khalsa. And now for the past 40 years, we are being misinformed that weapons are bad. Our next generation are dancing on TikTok and making reels. They're being told weapons are bad and you should be scared of them. Why shouldn't you put your hand on one? It's on my waist. It doesn't automatically go and shoot someone. When our mind is not trained, how will we stop our hands? The truth is, the entire problem is our minds. Yet we are focusing on weapons and licensing. We are told to stay away from weapons because we are a border state. But they are not willing to treat our border state as one of them. Our very own boys from this state, 25th Sikh Regiment, is fighting at the border. You are telling some people to not pick up weapons. Then why are you asking them? No one really wants to speak about this topic at all. All the reporters try and come here and portray we are all about weapons.
Sidhu's view on carrying weapons and the violence in his music is that he sees it as a religious obligation.
If our head priest has ordered Sikhs to carry legal weapons, then that is all that matters. It doesn't matter what someone else is saying and what our guru has instructed us to do. It's an even higher command from the head priest and I will follow it. I've been saying this for the longest time. Keeping weapons is not wrong, but using them towards loss to someone, rob a bank or point at someone's head is not right. But there is no problem in just keeping weapons.
His faith and his beliefs are a very personal part of his music and his motivations in life. The Sikh Jats were known as a large majority of the soldiers who took a stand on the front line opposing the Mughals. However, despite the strength of the Sikhs that live there, the Mansa district has had its fair share of problems ever since the British rule. This includes difficulties and deficiencies when it comes to economic development, education, and healthcare. The literacy rate of the Mansa district is shockingly low, and according to the 2011 census, only 55% of Mansa were literate at the time, lower than the national average literacy rate in India, which was 74% in the 2011 census. This could possibly be explained by the region's farming culture, as its residents may not believe in the education system as they mainly rely on their own self-sufficiency. Now, the Mansa district also has some government-run hospitals and health centres, but the quality of healthcare there is indeed a concern. In Punjab, there are only 0.46 hospital beds per 1,000 inhabitants and one doctor for 8,900 people. And this large inequality causes deficient levels of healthcare for the locals that live there. And this is even worse in proportion to the Mansa Civil Hospital, where 20 doctors are expected to oversee 500 patients. The government has acknowledged these issues, but the progress there has been slow, and these are the challenging circumstances that Sidhu Moosewala grew up around. Clearly his religion, his native lands, and the principles he'd had instilled in him growing up had a huge influence on his path in life once he found his way. But before he found fame and fortune and decided to use politics in an effort to improve situations where he came from, Sidhu Moosewala's first love was music. From a young age, Sidhu cultivated a keen interest in music. He began singing in the 5th grade at his primary school and even managed to place number 2 in a singing competition.
Wow.
A lot of people, especially kids in countries outside of India, wanted to know when the Sidhu begins singing.
I have been singing since the 5th grade. I took part in a singing competition and came 2nd place in the district. That was the beginning. Then I got to university and continued it. The rest is in front of you.
What was your first song?
First song I sang folklore. I sang folklore of Shahid Udham Singh and Baba Banda Bahadur. That's how I started. Then I did some folk songs for Bhangra.
Did you learn music from someone?
I did learn music from a lot of great artists. But I was not a classical singer. My teacher was from Ludhiana.
His love for hip-hop started in the 6th grade when he was about 11 years old, with his favourite rapper being Tupac Shakur. He was also trained in music from his early years at the Harvinder Bittu Music Academy.
Hello, I am Sidhu Moosewala, and I am here with my teacher, my father in music, everything. I have been learning at the academy and I'm here with everyone.
And Sidhu would continue practicing his singing alongside his intense academic career, eventually pursuing electrical engineering at Guru Nanak Dev Ji Engineering College in Ludhiana, where he would graduate in 2016. Sidhu studied there for 5 years, and he would even take 1 extra year as he didn't want to leave the dorms because he was getting so much love from his fellow students. And it was here at the college that we can see one of the early examples of him singing and honing his skills as a performer.
I wonder how old he was.
He looked young right there.
He
like
looked
young.
and he sound young. And but the turban make him look older. Especially when he was young with that t-shirt on, like a little grown-up kid.
Okay, now that you stopped this, the guy name was Tion Wayne, right?
Tion, yeah.
It came to me. I was like, oh, that's... Okay, yeah, but every time I see Moose, the young pictures, I can't help but smile. It's just like something about him. That's
his face. He got.
Yeah,
we always said he had that grown-up face from the beginning, even when he was little.
Crazy.
मिले मौके दी जेड़ा नी कदर करदा ओह अज बने ना ओह फेर बने ना दे मैं अट के खुदा दे अगे पल्ला अट के खुदा दे अगे पल्ला चंगा मैं तेरी खैर मंगदी मैं तेरी खैर मंगदी हाय मैं तेरी खैर मंगदी ओ तैनू उम्र ला देवे मेरी अल्लाह कागज़ ਬਣਾ ਲੈ ਕਿਤੋਂ ਜਾਨੀ ਸੁਣਿਆ ਵੇ ਸਾਡਾ ਸਕਿਆਂ ਚੋਂ ਲੀਡਰੀ ਅਕਾਲੀ ਸੁਣਿਆ ਹਾਈ ਕੜੀ ਬੈਠੀਆਂ ਸਕੀਮ ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਰੀ ਉਹ ਕੀ ਪੁੱਛਦੇ دیਵਾਨਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ
After graduating from school in Punjab, Sidhu would then move to Brampton in Ontario, Canada, where he became an international college student at Humber College. And Sidhu has since shared that he was forced into moving because of his family. Sidhu didn't even want to leave his native country, but his uncle's son was going and he was made to join in.
After your studies, you went abroad. How did that happen?
It was due to my family. I didn't want to go. You know how it goes. If my uncle's son is doing something, I have to as well. First it was a degree. I told them I can't study that much. But no, if he did non-medical, I had to do non-medical.
Wow.
If they can study, then so can you. We sent you to the same school. Do you have a deficiency? I used to think, where have I been placed? I somehow passed high school. For the non-medical and for the degree, I crammed up lessons a lot. I did my degree with honors. And then they asked me to do a proficiency test to go abroad. I did that whilst completing my degree and passed that one too.
How many bands you score?
6.5 bands. I did it without any classes. My family would ask, how am I going to pass? I would tell them I am only responsible for taking the exam. The examiner chooses whether I pass or fail. Like they say, do the deed and don't worry about the fruit. I don't know how I passed.
So we can say Sidhu is proficient.
Do the deed. I guess he like saying plant the seed and don't worry about the fruit. Just do it. And it'll grow.
Yeah, well,
right?
I guess. I believe the fact that he said he did it without, he was trying to do one thing, but they want him to do the other. He was like, I'll take the test. Now I'm going to do that.
But I guess at the end, he probably happy that they made him do it. You know what I mean? Because
I mean, of course, but it sounded like it sounded like everything came to him like he was just smart.
He was just smart, right? And that's your family could see that, and they'd be like, "Look, just do this for us, even if you don't want to, right?"
Mm-hmm. We see that all the time.
In English,
it's fine. I can get by.
Hold up, what he say?
So we can say Sidhu is proficient in English.
It's fine. I can get by.
But during his stay in Canada, Sidhu would finally begin taking music seriously after being encouraged by his friends to produce songs after they heard him singing.
ਹੋ ਜਾਵਾਂ ਸਦਕੇ ਮੈਂ ਤੇਰੇ ਜੱਟੀਏ ਤੂੰ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨਾਲ ਵਾਰ ਕਰੇ ਨੀ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਹੱਥੋਂ ਨਾ ਸ਼ਿਕਾਰ ਕੋਈ ਬਚਿਆ ਕੋਈ ਉਸ ਜੱਟ ਦਾ ਸ਼ਿਕਾਰ ਕਰੇ ਨੀ ਹੋ ਜਿਹਦੀ ਰਹਿਣ ਤੋਂ ਤਲਾਸ਼ੀ ਮਾਮੇ ਡਰਦੇ ਤੂੰ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਅੱਖਾਂ ਨਾ ਫਿਰੇ ਫਰੋਲਦੀ ਨੀ ਤੂੰ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਮੜਾਵੇਂ ਅੱਖੀਆਂ ਲੰਗੇ ਮੌਤ ਵੀ ਨਾ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਕੋਲ ਦੀ ਨੀ ਤੂੰ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਮੜਾਵੇਂ ਅੱਖੀਆਂ ਲੰਗੇ ਮੌਤ ਵੀ ਨਾ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਕੋਲ ਦੀ ਹੋ ਗੱਲੀ ਬਾਤੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਉੱਡਦੇ ਕਰੇ ਝਾਕਣੀ ਨਾ ਰਾਖ ਗੱਭਰੂ
Soon after his migration to Canada, Sidhu's networking and musical talent landed him the opportunity of a lifetime. And before he knew it, everything would change and he would be in the music industry making hit records and taking his first steps on the path to becoming one of the greatest musicians India had ever seen. Before we go any further into the video, I just want to make a quick announcement. The Trap Law team is hiring. So if you want to get paid to sit on Reddit and fill out the join the team. See you soon. After moving to Canada to continue his studies and sharpen his skills as a singer-songwriter on the side, soon Sidhu Moosewala would have the opportunity of a lifetime to break into the music industry, when he would land a massive placement as a songwriter when he wrote the track License for another Punjabi rapper called Ninja, being credited prominently on the cover as the writer under his given name Shubdeep Sidhu. Now sitting at over 20 million views, the track became a hit and Sidhu's talent for songwriting was undeniable. He would later perform the song himself upon his return home to Punjab at his old GNE college. Sidhu then spent the next year honing his craft and writing skills, garnering up a list of massive singles of his own. Eventually he would release his debut song from this collection of recordings, a track titled G-Wagon, which came out on the 2nd of July 2017, a track which was a sudden hit that quickly put Sidhu on the radar of Punjabi music fans. The song itself was a much more traditional Punjabi pop song, and Sidhu, whilst displaying his talent as a singer, hadn't quite yet fully fused his style with the American hip-hop element elements that would later make his music so unique. But he had begun his solo career, and from here he would continue developing as an artist song by song. From there, he would slowly put out 9 tracks that comprised his debut album, with him improving and evolving each time. This was an unconventional release strategy, but it worked well for him. His next track was Mustang, which would circulate later in July 2017. Now, the beat itself was a very generic American hip-hop beat, but it's kind of like a crappy stock beat from like Hip Hop EJ from 2016. But Sidhu took that beat and he sung and rapped in his native tongue Punjabi, with the end result being incredibly original. Despite being a Punjabi track, thematically, Sidhu's music was dealing with topics much more at home on an American gangster rap album. Fast cars were becoming a clear motif, with his 2 tracks released so far being inspired by cars popular in America, the G-Wagon and a Mustang. Sidhu would also rap about his ops chasing him with their foot on the gas pedal as he clutches a Draco, the gun beloved by drill rappers from all over the world, with Sidhu claiming that his Draco sings the tune of his enemies' funerals. He was spitting. Mustang would be followed up by more music like the track Lifestyle featuring Banker, which leaked in late July and was uploaded to YouTube in November 2017. The track titled Lifestyle was a stark look at the street lifestyle that Sidhu had grown up living, with references to armed conflicts with his ops, revenge killings, and living and dying by the gun. He would rap that his AK-47 keeps an eye out for him, as well as having guns and bullets tattooed on his body. He'd talk about having a gangster state of mind that runs in his blood and killing any ops that stood in their way, with Sidhu rapping all about sticking people up at gunpoint and how the country boys used to run their town. Sidhu was jumping on the mic and talking gangster like a real drill rapper, and people were loving it. All of this momentum was leading up to a breakthrough moment. Sidhu was honing a unique musical style, blending the Punjabi flavour of music with gritty lyrics about the gun-toting street life he grew up around, and soon the world would wake up to this unique style in a big way. In August 2017, Sidhu released his first breakthrough single, the astronomical hit titled So High. The song itself now sits at over 750 million views, by far one of his biggest songs to date. This track reached numbers that many of the mainstream artists in the West would dream of attaining, and the track itself was a textbook example of why they call Sidhu Moosewala the Tupac of India. It had a booming beat that was like a timeless American rap beat, and in his bars, he was rapping about American tropes like having lowriders and appearing in the video surrounded by gangsters in what I assume is the trenches of Canada. The song itself painted a dark picture of a life of crime and violence in a way that few Punjabi musicians had done before, rapping about guns, claiming his hobbies are dangerous and life-threatening, with Sidhu claiming to keep loaded pistols on him and making the local gangsters fear him. Sidhu also seems to show a certain amount of self-awareness on the track, explaining how his gangster approach to music has landed him big record deals in Canada, and he goes on to brag about how dropping 4 singles in a month had other pop stars intimidated by his monumental rise. And Sidhu was spitting facts. In the space of just a few months, having
he did always talk about people chasing him or people inferior, or you know, he rapping circles around everybody. He did talk like everybody was trying to catch up to him, pretty much.
Well, maybe they were. If he out there doing,
we know. I mean,
right.
Because still to this day, I don't know if other Punjabi artists get the type of love and views that he got.
Yeah.
Now they might get more money because there's more money out there, but
but still, even when we do a different artist, they always come back and be like, Moose only, more Moose. People still, they'll watch the other videos, but they still be like,
not all of them.
Well, not like Moose, of course. Right. And they say like more Moose, only Moose. Where's Moose? It's all the time.
I was intimidated by his monumental rise, and Sidhu was spitting facts. In the space of just a few months, having released G-Wagon, Mustang, Lifestyle, and So High, he had become one of the most buzzing prospects in the Punjabi music scene. So High set the standard for Sidhu's career, and he essentially cemented his legacy, as this track alone almost birthed an entire new genre of Western-inspired Punjabi music, as he would mix his hybrid singing and rapping style over traditional folk Punjabi instruments and melodies, combining that with Western trap 808 beats, much more at home in an Atlanta strip club than a small Punjabi village. The song So High resonated deeply, and not only in Punjab itself,
but also with the
westernized sound.
Yeah. He said that music was
Okay.
Combining that with Western trap 808 beats, much more at home in an Atlanta strip club than a small Punjabi village. The song So High resonated.
He said he produced the type of beats that was more strip clubby in America than something you would hear from the village.
Deeply, and not only in Punjab itself, but also with the westernized South Asian communities living in the West, such as in the UK, and particularly Canada, where Sidhu had studied. And Sidhu was seemingly a genius at blending this Western gangster rap culture with his native Punjabi elements, and he did it in a way that unlocked a new audience of over 1 billion people around the world. One great example of this actually occurred just 2 months after dropping his hit song So High, around the time of Atlanta rapper 21 Savage, who was going viral for his interview, where he famously described the tattoo on his forehead, saying, "It's a knife."
What does the cross on your forehead signify?
It's a knife.
Sidhu would go on to drop a new song with a Punjabi play on words based on 21 Savage's catchphrase, "It's a knife," with Sidhu's new song being titled "Issa Jat," featuring violent lyrics over a booming trap beat. Issa Jat now.
That's where that came from.
That's cool.
Wow. Did we ever know
that's
that?
Cool. I don't know if we did. But that's the way that he said it's a knife. Like, and he said it's a knife. That's cool
too.
Yeah,
that's
pretty cool.
It's a knife.
Sidhu would go on to drop a new song with a Punjabi viral for his interview, where he famously described the tattoo on his forehead, saying, "It's a knife."
What does the cross on your forehead signify?
It's a knife.
Sidhu would go on to drop a new song with a Punjabi play on words based on 21 Savage's catchphrase, "It's a knife," with Sidhu's new song being titled "Issa Jat," featuring violent lyrics over a booming trap beat. Issa Jat now sits at over 90 million views. And of course, Jat doesn't mean knife. Jat actually refers to the landowning class in Sidhu's native Musa in Punjab, with the implication being that these are the tough, hard-working people who are warriors, with a suggestion that some of these Jats are indeed hardcore gangsters too. And in the lyrics, Sidhu raps about pulling up on his ops, with them running scared and screaming, "Issa Jat." The song itself contained numerous lyrics and references to guns. Sidhu would also talk with confidence about his career, bragging that he's stealing the fans' hearts with his prolific run of dropping 9 songs in 15 days. And following the success of Issa Jat, Sidhu wasn't about to take his foot off the gas, and in early January, Sidhu would drop another major hit in his catalogue, the track Just Listen, which now sits at over 211 million views. The song itself was a boastful affair, less concerned with lyrics about violence, more focused on Sidhu standing up to his haters, and explaining how his work rate has the music industry hateful and jealous towards him, as well as hinting at the greatness that was on the way for his music career. This was a breakthrough moment for Sidhu on an international level, as Just Listen ended up becoming his first internationally charting single, landing at number 12 in the UK's Asian music charts. And from here, Sidhu continues his spree of hit singles with 3 more tracks. 2 of those songs, Tokan and Famous, also landed on the same charts at number 20 and 17 respectively. The love song It's All About You was very much for the ladies, which had a music video dropping on Valentine's Day 2018, a video which today sits at over 115 million views. By this point, Sidhu was getting his first live show bookings, but these weren't without controversy, as people would turn up to protest against his vulgar and violent lyrics. However, the controversy was only helping Sidhu cultivate a bad boy image. Sidhu would continue his momentum with his next single, Tokan, which had a huge budget music video. The video dropped on May the 17th, 2018, and today has a whopping 340 million views. The tractor-themed video would pay homage to his farming roots, with the song's hook using a slick double entendre to threaten his ops with being dragged from the back of a tractor if they cross him. The song was a unique Punjabi spin on gangster rap that felt completely fresh and exciting. On the song, Sidhu would sing and chant in his native Punjabi tongue about having shooters on his team, doing this over another unique beat that blended those Punjabi melodies with American hip-hop 808 drum patterns, making for a certified banger that doesn't sound like anything else in the West. But even more interesting was the outro of the song, where Sidhu would deliver an uplifting message reminding his listeners of their revolutionary spirit, and warning the listener that the people he represents aren't the sweet-talking businessmen who like to be flashy, but actually the down-and-out Jats who drive tractors and have short tempers. This was a kind of warning to the world that Sidhu is the leader and the voice of this working-class youth of Jats who he represented with his music. It was deep stuff, borderline revolutionary, and one of the most striking reasons that Sidhu Moosewala has been compared with Tupac Shakur. Because beyond making great music that spoke the language of his generation, Tupac also used his music and profile as a platform to promote political messages of black empowerment. His music was intended to uplift and electrify his generation of inner-city youths in America, and that was perhaps what made Tupac so dangerous to the establishment. Sidhu's next banger was the appropriately titled track Famous, and the song itself was kind of Sidhu's own announcement to the world that he was indeed famous. It was one of those songs where a rapper goes from next up to actually up. By this point in his career, Sidhu had truly arrived, and in the song, he would rap about the fact that people now pay to meet him, and now he has haters burning with jealousy, as well as having losers trying to be famous by trying to fight with him. And this was all true, because by now, Sidhu Moosewala was a huge star. His next song, Dark Love, with a video released on July the 6th, 2018, today has an insane 177 million views, and this video depicted Sidhu as a kingpin executing his ops, as well as rapping about being a killer who fell in love and how his G-Wagon had been used in murders, suggesting that he's now got that same G-Wagon following a woman. Now, whether or not Sidhu Moosewala was actually arranging murders at this point is debatable, but what was true was the fact that since he became the hottest thing in Punjabi music, he had a lot of people pissed off, and in the midst of all of his musical output, a rivalry was brewing in the scene that had the potential to turn violent, and soon, fans who wanted to crown Sidhu Moosewala as India's Tupac might have just found their Biggie Smalls.
Okay. Whoa.
I don't even want to talk about him talking about maybe I thought he meant just had the G-Wagon following her for protection.
Mm-hmm.
So nobody mess with her, not to go on a hit.
I didn't think that either. But okay.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, we got it. Okay.
But yeah,
but,
Tupac. I don't know, but you ready to keep going?
No, we gonna break this up.
Yeah, we'll break it up. But we go to the next part though.
Okay.